Got Your Back Podstream is brought to you by Mr. Dirk. From casual wear to suits and formals, Mr. Dirk helps you find the perfect fit with the right look for any occasion. Step up your wardrobe at mrdirk.com. All right, regular season done. Thank goodness. That was a bit of a painful crawl to the finish, wasn't it? Was it just me, or did it feel longer than in previous years? Kind of more painful than in previous years, but it's done with. And now bring on the Kings, bring on the playoffs. Conor McDavid hits 100 points. Stu Skinner finishes with a shutout. And the Oilers hit the postseason. Not quite at full stride, but have to be feeling okay about themselves. 3-0 win. Welcome to Got Your Back, folks. We're up right after the game tonight, catching you by surprise. But we're ready to rock and roll early. As always, our show is brought to you by Play Alberta. Why choose Play Alberta? Well, just ask any hockey fan who loves odds boosts, player props, and same-game parlays, or slots players who love massive jackpots, or lottery players who can grab last-minute tickets on the go. Deposit today. Get a $50 free bet with the code GYB04 at playalberta.ca. I'm coming at you from our Adrenaline Diesel studio. Did you know they have an all-new 24/7 mobile truck service? Ready for roadside emergencies, scheduled repairs, expert diagnostics, anytime, anywhere. Give them a call, 780-907-1965, extension 119. As we say, good evening to Jason Strudwick. We've got Steve Taylor working the controls in Kelowna. What did Zuby describe it as, Steve-O? Like self-controlled load management or something like that. Like I think he feels like he's been overworked lately.
It's a load management night. He feels like it's not the most important podcast, so he'll give it to the second string guy. I don't have to sit in the press box anymore. This is a big game for me. For you guys, it's not a big deal. This one's a big one for me though. So I'm going to try and get
It's good to have you again, buddy. Good to have you again. Struddy, nowhere near the biggest podcast that Zuby had to do today. Struddy's World, episode 12 to 1 today. What a great episode that was today, buddy. That was fun.
Yeah, Zuby decided he only does one a day now. He's bringing it so much that he's exhausted.
Poodle.
I'm exhausted after a 65-minute podcast at lunch. So here we are. Steve-O, you're in,
That was
buddy.
a good one.
Yes. Let's go.
Yeah. My favorite part of the show today was when you thought Noodles was done and off the call and you chirped him and he was still there. And so he heard the chirp and then fired back and kind of shamed you for it. I thought that was a wonderful moment. You and Noodles, good buddies, are having some fun together. Jack Michaels actually checked in from the road today, so it was a good show. And we're going to keep it rocking through the playoffs. Hey, you guys are having some fun with it?
Yeah, really good time. Really, really fun. And our guests have been awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah. Terry Fox says, got your backs Picard, or Pickard. So I think he's suggesting you're the very qualified high-end backup that they're lucky to have, I would say, would describe you, Steve. So glad to have you along for the ride. Were you like me? How was your focus for that game? I started watching and I had my notes. And I look now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 notes from this game. I got a snack. I started mucking around with the guitar a little bit. I had trouble staying dialed in for this one tonight, buddy. I hope you did.
Yeah, I was pretty good, but there are times where I've got this one buddy who tells a story that should be about 30 seconds and drags it out to 5 minutes. And I'd have to recenter. I'm like, okay, let's get back into it. So I was stretching, I was eating, I had some tea, I had a second intermission nap. Like I really was kind of trying to keep it going because I think we all agree this game, other than getting Conor his 100th point, there really wasn't much to bite off here.
Skinner.
And that's, Skinner's another one. Yeah, so those are 2. I thought Deneen was maybe another storyline in this one, to see him play.
I like it.
What suit Louis is wearing today?
yeah, yeah. It's a little thin past those things. So listen, we'll talk about this game a little bit. We'll see how long we go here, and if we've got time for Brownie to join us tonight, we'll just kind of see. It might be a quicker show tonight, but yeah, we'll break it all down. Obviously, we'll talk about the Kings here. The series are set. All the playoff series are now set. All that's left to be determined is if the Oilers are starting on Sunday or Monday night. I haven't heard it if it's out there yet. So waiting to hear on that. Let's get to the breakdown brought to you by the Alberta Ram dealers. It's the Ram Motor Trend Celebration event. Lease a 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Only $139 a week at 2.4% for 42 months. See your Alberta Ram dealer today. Take one of these bad boys for a test drive. Okay, Struds. Stuart Skinner, we're going to start there. So he ends up making 18 saves for a shutout. 3 of his 7 shutouts have come against the Sharks. He likes feasting on that team a little bit here. And of the things that I was interested in and keeping an eye on tonight, Stuart Skinner, how he looked, his performance. He was a guy that I felt needed to come out and treat this like an important game. And I got the feeling he did.
I wish they would have given up 30 shots. I really think that for him, it would have been better to get more and more shots out there. But it's the San Jose Sharks, so you can't ask for miracles here. Yeah, I think that you're onto it. I think that he would have taken this as it was game 1 in the playoffs. I really think he would have prepared himself, put in his mindset. He's a guy who really believes in, and most NHL players do, but that mental part of the game. But I thought he looked quite calm in the net. He was in the way a lot, and that's kind of his style, right? Get in the way, make it hit you, and then you smother up the rebounds. And I thought his rebound control was tight as well. So, as a D-man, I would have felt very comfortable with the game he had and how it kind of affected, selfishly affected me as just in front of him.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting the last few days. Like Skinner, so the Oilers took a day off the day after the game. And then he didn't practice on the day they flew on the day they flew. And so he was back-to-back days without being on ice, and then ended up, I think it was a morning skate, and he ended up playing tonight. So it really wasn't about a bunch of practice time and focus and work. It was really about rest still for Stuart Skinner, getting him ready for this game. And I was a little bit surprised that he hadn't practiced.
Really surprised me. I've been advocating on here for him to get on the ice with his goalie coach and feel the puck and tighten up his little details. And he went the other way. So, I listen, maybe there's, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure what the reasoning for that would have been, but, it looked tight tonight. So I guess at the end of the day, now they do have quite a bit of time, whether they start Sunday or Monday, whatever it is, they've got probably a couple practices at least here. It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, probably at least, 2 or 3, 4 practices somewhere in there. So he'll be able to work on it then. And maybe that was the thought process, right?
Yeah, I believe that the team, they were thinking about coming home, I believe, if they were going to play, if the series started on the Monday. I'm not sure if that's the case. My gut says they're going to stay out there either way. So they're on the road, and I think they're staying on the road, I think. And that's interesting. What do you think? What do you think about finishing here on a Wednesday night, maybe not starting until Monday, and having a pile of days here where you're on the road together as a group? Do you risk it getting stale? How many days do you practice? Like, the way that Knobloch handles this will be important.
Really like this. I really like this. So it's a 3-hour flight. So you're, if you're going, they probably wouldn't have flown home tonight. I guess maybe they could have, but let's assume they weren't going to. So they'd fly tomorrow. So tomorrow's a burner. And then Friday, Saturday, and you have to fly back Sunday. So is it worth it for that? I'd rather just stay down there. And I know you miss your kids and your wives and all that stuff, but this is the playoffs. And this is the time where you just go all in. So, let's say that tomorrow morning they drive up to LA. I'm just guessing here. Probably a day off, maybe a workout or something they do, and then have a practice Friday, Saturday. Like I said, maybe if they don't start till Monday, a practice Sunday. You can have 2 good work days and a kind of lighter skate Sunday. But then spend time together. Get your mindset in like, hey, it's us against the world, right? There's people who are wondering, can they win it? Can they not? But spend that time together away from distractions and kind of get into playoff mode, Schauger.
Okay, to the Weiss Johnson soundbox, this courtesy Oilers Plus. Here's Ty Emberson.
Plus with this group and all the adversity and all the injuries you guys have had to face, and now finally feeling good about your game and having some healthy bodies back.
I think it's been good. Like you said, there's been a lot of injuries, a lot of rotating doors of guys coming in, guys coming out, guys playing shorthanded, guys playing a little bit hurt. But I think it's been good. Of everyone has stepped up. Of some guys play different roles in different situations, and I think it's been really good. As you can see, we kind of found our game going into playoffs here.
I mean, that's a couple of ends of the spectrum, almost all.
Okay, Ty Emberson there. That was Tony Brar with the questions, and that courtesy Oilers Plus. I think Skinner might be popping up next. We'll see if we can grab a clip there. Struds, back to the game here for a couple minutes. Let's go to Emberson. We've seen some production from him lately. Nice, confident way for him to finish off the season, I would say, and ends up with a goal here tonight. What have you thought of his play coming down the stretch here and heading into the playoffs?
He had a great start to the season, and then it kind of went soft for him a little bit, and you lose your confidence a little bit, and then he wasn't playing. And it's hard to be confident when you're not in the lineup. Hey, you're playing great. We're taking out of the lineup. That's a rare conversation to have. Trust me. So he's out. And then I think as of late, I'd say, with some of the injuries, he's gotten more opportunity to play and to get out there. And it looks like his confidence coming back. I still like to see him be more physical. I really think that's a piece he's missing right now in his game, where he could, I don't really care that he gets hit a lot. I don't think that really matters. He's a pretty decent sized guy, but I'd like to see him return the favor and get more hits in. Like, you look at Josh Brown. I mean, although a lot of those hits are kind of from behind, but still he's hitting a lot of guys. And although, Emerson's not as big, I'd like to see him be more physical. And I wonder if that's not a piece that he could add to his game here to solidify his spot in the lineup.
I wonder if he got worn down a little bit, Struds. I mean, he got hit as much or more than anybody else in the NHL through the bulk of the season there. And I wonder if that starts to wear on you, if those things add up a little bit. And if maybe that had anything to do with the decline that we saw in his play, or if that was a little bit more confidence-based from a guy that was still in his first 100 games.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. I don't know if getting hit really worked. Is he that? He's a pretty thick guy. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's not like, Ben Roethlisberger used to get hit all the time as a quarterback, and he just stand there and just let him hit and just move on. I don't know. I don't remember thinking, man, I'm getting pounded all the time. I'm really getting tired.
Struds, hang on one sec here. We'll go back to the Weiss Johnson soundbox, and here's Stuart Skinner.
It's impressive not giving up too many shots against. It kind of says that we're keeping them on the outside for a majority of it. I think at the same time it's block shots. So just guys, getting in the lane, doing everything they can to make sure they don't have a chance to get a goal. So really important, especially coming down the stretch here. I'm really happy. When you get a shutout, you have a lot to give to your teammates for that.
What did tonight's start, along with the start you had in Winnipeg, what did that kind of do for you mentally and physically gearing up for the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it gave me a little bit of a reset. I think it gives you obviously a little bit of confidence going into the first round. But again, the last two games for me was kind of, shaking off the rust a bit. I think tonight I didn't really feel too much rust, to be honest, so I felt pretty good. I'm just going to continue on moving forward, keep on growing, trying to get better, and try to get my game as dialed in as I can, especially where we want to go.
All right, and that courtesy Oilers Plus, our Weiss Johnson sound box, brought to you by Weiss Johnson Heating and Air Conditioning. The team over at Weiss already seeing an increase in requests for air conditioning, so beat the rush and give them a call right away. Specializing in servicing your existing mechanical systems or installing new ones, Weiss Johnson's here for all your home comfort needs. Visit Weiss-Johnson.com today. Jingle.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
All right, Struds, there you hear Stuart Skinner saying what we thought. These last two games, a chance for him to reset, find his confidence heading into the postseason here. People talk about a short leash, that, he'll get the start, but it'll be a short leash. Do you think that it will be? Like, if Stuart Skinner doesn't win game one, do they automatically go back to Pickard? Or is it like until he doesn't play well or until he struggles, you got to ride him and not kick the rug out from underneath him.
Yeah, I think you got to give him a chance here. I mean, because you can play bad and win, and you can play, play bad and win. So I think he's got to find a way to. They've got to give him a chance to kind of get in there and get going. So I would be blown away if he has a tough start game 1, he doesn't play game 2.
Yeah, I agree. I think, because Pickard had a good season and because he finished strong, I think there's a sense out there that like, oh boy, he's going to be on a real short leash or something. I think, Dallas Scarlett here says Stu has to lose us a game before he is pulled swap. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think you can't necessarily have him goaltending from the edge of a cliff. You got to give him a chance to find some of that confidence and find some of that playoff confidence. So that'll be interesting to see the way that Chris Knobloch handles that. Conor McDavid took little time, gets point number 100. Struds, nice to see that happen for him. What is it? The 5th straight year that he's done it, 8th overall that he's done it. Dion, Lemieux, and Gretzky, the other 3 that had that 800-point season total. So pretty heady company, impressive stuff for McDavid. And I don't know, pretty unreal finish to the season for McDavid, Struds. Even in a mean nothing game, he had some looks tonight where you were like, whoa, that gear.
Yeah, he's skating as good as he has, I'd say, almost all year. Like, he is absolutely flying out there, moving well, creating space for himself and for others, obviously. And he's doing it with Skinner and Brown. So that's an interesting, combo there. But just specifically for him, I believe this is the best as he's skated all year, or as good as.
Yeah. I mean, he went on that one rush. He got thwarted at the offensive hash marks, but he hit a gear and tried to take on those 3 guys, Struds. Like, he hasn't been as aggressive off the rush as he was in that moment in some time. He looked like he wanted to blow right through the entire team, the entire bench, out through the Zamboni and out into the parking lot. Like, he hit an afterburner there on the attack.
You know what? I think to help, like, just put a point on yours is explosive. I think he's really explosive right now. And it felt like it took him a couple strides before to get up to speed. Now it's one step and he's gone. And, because the one time he went behind the net and you could see that the player wasn't sure which way he was going to go. And he kind of faked like he was going to go behind the net. Then a quick hard turn to his left and he was gone in front of his own net, like just gone. The guy was chasing a ghost. So that explosiveness, I don't think, I thought he was sluggish, whether it was an injury, I don't know what it was, especially after the 4 Nations.
Yeah. Here's Chris Knobloch back to the Weiss Johnson soundbox.
The challenge is going to be a difficult one heading into the next round.
What's the feeling around the defensive game right now, especially in Skinner's last 2 starts, 36 combined shots against in Winnipeg and here tonight? What can you maybe say about your guys' defensive game heading into the game?
Yeah, well, tonight I didn't like our puck movement, passing, that execution, in which we ended up spending a lot more time in the defensive zone, especially in the first 10 minutes. We're under siege there and spending a lot of time in the defensive zone, giving up a lot of chances. Stu was very solid. But overall, I thought we defended really well. We had good sticks, broke up a lot of plays, but, the breakouts, the puck play, that stuff could have been a lot cleaner, but certainly we'll have to get a lot sharper going forward.
Now is kind of the plan over the next few days. You still await a start time or a date to start. What do you want to see? What do you have to see, I guess, other than maybe some more health and trying to get some of those players that were out of the lineup back in?
We definitely would like better health, and we look like we are getting close to that. And the majority of the guys are going to be ready for game 1. And then, tomorrow we'll be staying here. We're not sure about our playoff start time, so we'll be staying here, having some practices around San Jose, and then heading over to LA later in the week.
Are we getting used to Conor McDavid's greatness on a day-by-day basis? I mean, every time we talk to you about a certain stat, he's...
All right, there's Oiler head coach Chris Knobloch, Gene Principe, Tony Brouwer on the road with the team, asking those questions, and that coming to us courtesy Oilers Plus. So it sounds like they're going to stay out there, Struds. And, this break that they have, I know you talked about it before, but as far as you're concerned, like for the schedule makers, push it as far as possible.
Oh, let's hope it's Monday. Every 24-hour period you get is better for this team. And I think it just builds up that not nervousness, but just that anxiety maybe a little bit for LA. Like, we want to get this going. We want to play. Like, let's get it going. The Oilers have been through a lot of series in the last number of years. So, so it's Wednesday. So it'd be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 4 days more to rest and more importantly, heal for some of those guys. I don't know about Heckholm. He won't be back at that point, but you could have everyone available to you if the game starts Monday. And if not, then Wednesday, because that's a whole other week. A week of healing for whoever needs it.
All right, let's get to the UCAN Youth Services Relentless Player of the Night. If you're looking to hire entry-level staff for your company, UCAN Youth Services trains youth in pre-employment skills to help get them ready, willing, and able to join your team. Check out www.ucan.ca for more information. Struds, who are you going to go with tonight for the Relentless Player?
Just an absolute slam dunk for Game 82. The 5 D-men tonight. That's all you need. It's amazing. You need sometimes 12, 13, 14 forwards. We'll play with 5. We'll all play with 22 minutes, 20-some minutes. The guys were absolute studs tonight. So 5 D-men were relentless tonight. I love it.
All right. You're going with the group awards lately as we head towards playoffs. Not a lot of individual awards. You're all about the groups, the teams, the lines, the forwards, the D as a unit. Kind of changing the shape of the fourth line you've done a few times. What'd you think of Dineen, bud? Give us your report on Dineen.
Well, today he looked really good. This was it's a very young team, and they're obviously the worst team in the league, but skates really well. Heady gets his head up on the play, and he almost scored there. Jumps in on the play offensively. It'll be interesting to see if he gets a chance to play in the playoffs. Very mobile, very quick. And if that's what they're looking for, he's their guy.
Canadian says Dineen might be better than some guys who have been with the Oilers all year. I mean, I don't want to get let's pump the brakes a little bit. This was San Jose, a team that, likes to skate and likes to keep it flowing and moving. And Dineen is going to thrive in a game like that. So he looked good tonight. I think he definitely has the legs for playoff hockey. Looks like the processor is pretty good too. So I'm intrigued to the point where I wonder if he goes in maybe even ahead of Klingberg because he's got more game action recently. Let's say Klingberg's healthy by next week. If they need somebody, if maybe he's moved himself up ahead of Klingberg on the depth chart. And in fact, I would say he would go in ahead of Brown at this point, Struds, for sure.
Just the quickness for Brown might be a bit of a challenge. But I thought he had a good game tonight, but again, you got to consider the opposition. So San Jose is a long ways away from the Kings, and the Kings aren't as good as Vegas, I believe, if we get to that point.
Okay. Steve, why don't you jump in here, buddy? Let's get to our DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll. Helping you play better golf since 1999 with their TrackMan fitting bays, instruction, after-sales support, golf merchandise, and clothing. Go down, check out their Pro Shop-style atmosphere located at 5311 99th Street in Edmonton. That is DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center. Steve?
Asking about Jeff Skinner and whether he should be on McDavid's line for game 1 of the first round. So question simply is, should Jeff Skinner be on McDavid's line for game 1? Just 2 answers, yes or no.
I like it. We'll keep it nice and simple. Good stuff, Steve. And you'll be back for Ask Us Anything coming up in a little bit here where we will recap that poll. And coming up in Takeaway Struds, I want to get to the discussion about line combinations and what we might see heading into the next series, what we think they should be, what they could be. We'll bat that around. Send us your line combinations here on the stream as well. We can take in some of those and read some of those. So still lots ahead here on the show. You've got her locked into Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta. Right back.
Join over 250,000 Canadians who have upgraded to Canada's best mattress. Douglas is proudly made in Canada and ships directly to your door for free. Douglas is easy to set up. Enjoy perfectly balanced comfort and an easy-to-clean machine washable cover. Get a free sleep bundle with your Douglas mattress. Try risk-free for 365 nights. Get your Douglas mattress today.
At Gallery Dental, we believe in blending exceptional care with artistry to create the perfect smile for you. From routine cleanings to advanced cosmetic procedures, our team is dedicated to providing top-notch care in a relaxed and comfortable environment. With state-of-the-art technology and a passion for perfection, we ensure that every visit is a positive experience. Join the Gallery Dental family and let us help you achieve a smile that you'll love to show off. Contact us today at secolandentistry.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. Waiting for Rob Brown to join us for our takeaways that will be brought to you by Martin Motorsports. But first, let's get to our core blue liners. Going to focus on an Oiler tonight. That's brought to you by HSE Core Services. If you're a small to medium-sized business, they have your back when it comes to health and safety compliance, from creating and managing a tailored health and safety program meeting all legislation and core requirements. HSE Core, supporting client operations every step of the way. www.hsecor.com. Struds, let's talk a little bit about Sir Brett Kulak. 27-53. He played tonight, blocked 7 shots, and what a season it's been for Kulak.
Incredible. Played all the games, and this is probably long overdue. We didn't touch on a lot of Oilers D-men this year in this segment. Really strong skater. So strong on his edges. You rarely see him get pushed off pucks. You rarely see him get beat to pucks in a race, up the ice. Surfs over a lot, uses the speed to defend. Really good stick. His stick, I think, is underrated, how he gets the stick in passing lanes or to deny people kind of access to where they want to go. And he directs them with his stick towards a wall or to wherever he wants to put them. He's really, really strong, steady defenseman. Ticked up the offense a little bit this year, which I think is great. He probably decided he was going to try to get some more goals, score a bit more. And it seems like the more he plays, it doesn't lower his, he never looks tired, doesn't look fatigued out there and doesn't show it. He's going to need that. He's going to need that attribute here in the playoffs because of all the guys, I think he's the one they'll lean on the most. He and Nurse to go up their minutes because he's going to get penalty kill time, not power play, and a ton of 5-on-5 minutes. Kulak will get playing, without Ekholm for the Oilers.
Interesting to note here, Strud. So in his time in Edmonton, 1705, the first season where he was 18 games after he was acquired. First full season was 22-23. He was 1731. Last season fell back to 15-23. And then this year, the first season, he's been over 20 minutes. So heading into tonight, he was at 20 minutes and 27 seconds on average for the Edmonton Oilers. So more responsibility this year, more opportunity. What do you make of that his minutes landed where they landed?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the last little while, I guess he's been playing quite a bit. Now that pushed it up a little bit, but over 82, it doesn't add that many minutes to your time. I think that he's a 5. I think they like him 5-on-5. I do think that he doesn't get the power play times, obviously, kills some penalties, but it feels like he's a 5-on-5 darling because he just does so much in that time. Can just play, and he, quite honestly, this year he played with everybody. I think he took a shift with his D partner being Leon Draisaitl. It was crazy how many shifts he played with different people, and everyone did, but he was, especially early, with Nurse, he was all over the place, playing back down. It was crazy.
He is going to be so critical in this postseason here. With Matthias Ekholm not available, we all know Darnell Nurse has had a good year and is going to have to be excellent in the playoffs, but he just needs to go back to doing what he does every playoff, Struds. Every playoffs, he just snaps his fingers and turns himself into a top 4 defenseman. Now, this year he's been a top 4 defenseman, but his best hockey as an Oiler has been in the playoffs consistently.
And I think competing, I feel like in the playoffs, he becomes a little bit more, and everyone does. Like, this isn't just him. He becomes a little bit more physical, a little bit heavier. And I think we'll see that from him because he is really, really strong on his feet, really strong. And the way he can turn and push guys at the same time, he's a lot. So, yeah, I expect he's a really important piece of this blue line. You look back to that trade a number of years ago. I mean, that was an absolute, just a dart right in the middle of the board.
Yeah, 100%. They did that a couple of times with left shot defensemen. Okay, That was Core Blue Liners brought to you by HSE Core Services. Let's get to our takeaways from tonight. And that is brought to you by Martin Motorsports. Now that some warmer weather is sticking around, it's almost boating season. Martin Motorsports has a big sale on pontoon boats, perfect for days on the lakes, as you'll have space for the whole family, the dog, the neighbors, and all your friends. Swing by one of Martin Motorsports, Edmonton, Calgary, Saskatoon, or Kelowna to view their pontoon inventory or shop online at martinmotorsports.ca. Okay, Struds, fourth season in a row that it's going to be the LA Kings and the Oilers in the first round. The series obviously starts in LA, which is different. And let's get into the discussion about line combinations. So for the purposes of this exercise, we're going to assume that Frederic, this 4 days is enough that he at least is going to give it a try. So let's assume that Evander Kane is in and that Trent Frederic is in and that basically all of the forwards are available. Moment of truth here, buddy. Like, what are we thinking on the lines? I've got mine here. You go ahead and give me yours first.
It's hard. This is hard. And just so you know, Janmark's not in my lineup. I just couldn't squeeze them in.
Oh, that's not happening.
So, okay. Let me run through these, and then we'll find out what we all.
I'm writing them down as you go. So left to right, first line through fourth line. Go ahead.
Skinner, McDavid, Hyman.
Okay.
Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Arvidsson. Frederic, Nuge, Brown, and then I love this.
One sec. Frederic, Nuge, Brown. Okay.
Then I love this line. Kane, Henrique, Perry. No Janmark.
I'm just looking to see. Yeah, okay. I see where our difference is. So our top six is exactly the same. It's exactly the same. So you've come off of where you and Brownie were the other night, which was going Brown and Skinner with McDavid. We all got into an argument about that. You and Brownie ganged up on me. And
we did.
And yeah, you laid a thumping on me. But you've come off of that. So you've now got Hyman back on the top line. I've got him there too. I've got Podkolzin, Draisaitl, and Arvidsson. So this is where you and I differ. I've got Evander Kane coming back on the left wing on the third line with Nugent Hopkins and Frederic on the right side. Frederic can play the right side. I'd throw him over there. And then I would go with Janmark, Henrique, and Corey Perry. So for me, I got Connor Brown out, which is, I mean, he's playing some of his better hockey here, but that's life. Wow. They got two players coming back that I think they want to move into their lineup. I mean, to me, it's Brown or Perry, you know, based on everybody coming back and being healthy. I don't believe that they're taking Janmark out. I think they like his game too much. And so it's one of those two for me. So Frederic and Kane are both there. They're on the third line with Nugent Hopkins for me.
I can live with that. You know, that Frederic's played so little for the Oilers. It's hard to really I can't say this is what it looks good or this looks bad. I have a really hard time with that. I might want to put him on his left wing where, you know, it's quite maybe it's a little bit more familiarity for him.
Yeah.
But I think I feel like the bottom six is going to evolve. And then my thing about Hyman, you know, I did reflect upon our conversation. I was just thinking he's had a lot of good time beside Conor McDavid. Connor is flying right now, absolutely flying, and that helps everyone out. And maybe just take a little bit here for Hyman to find the back of the net. So I'm putting him in that spot.
A lot of people, Steve, chiming in, not loving this, hey? Pointing out that Connor Brown is an excellent penalty killer.
Yeah, so
Steve, what are you seeing?
A lot of comments about the penalty kill in general. So
yeah.
Struddy, some people saying that your lineup might be lacking in penalty killers. Who would you put on the PK with your forwards, Struds?
I have it's Nuge and let's say Connor Brown, and then Puck Holton and Henrique.
Yeah.
There's still four.
That is. I mean, Janmark penalty kills too.
Yeah, but he's not in my lineup. And then
you've got him out.
Yeah, Brownie had spoken about because there's 5 forwards with the Kings. I'm going to put in Connor or Leon every now and then, just to maybe put some pressure on them. And so those are options as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with the Kings going at that 5 forward power play unit, if that's the way they end up going, yeah, you definitely probably, anytime you are needing a goal and killing a penalty, you'd think you would lean into those guys on the power play or on the penalty kill and give them a look out there. I mean, look, like if you want to bring in Evander Kane, and they do, you traded for Trent Frederick for a reason. They want to bring him in. Neither of those guys are going to contribute on the penalty kill. So unless you're pulling Corey Perry out, you're losing a penalty killer from your lineup, are you not? Do you not just have to accept that?
Yeah, I think you do. And so I just have a hard time seeing him pulling Perry out. You know, what is he at? 18, 19 goals? That
19
seems like
now. He's at 19 goals.
It's at, and it was interesting their point they made on the broadcast today. He averaged less than 12 minutes. He had 19 goals. I mean, geez, that's pretty good. So I just have a hard time seeing him come out of this series.
Well, you could take Jeff Skinner out and leave a penalty killer in if you want. I mean,
but there's still 4 penalty killers, right? I think we have to we're still, Henrique, Podkolzin, Nuge, and Brown all kill penalties in my scenario. And for you, you swap out Janmark for Brown. And it's not fair for either one of those guys coming out. In fact, whoever's coming out of this lineup, it's not going to be fair. And they will not be happy.
Yeah. A lot of people on the stream are pointing out that Frederick kills penalties. You're not coming back into the lineup on a new team, nursing a high ankle sprain and doing much penalty killing, Struds. That's not happening.
No. It's they just want him at 5-on-5 for now, and they can grow. His minutes can grow for sure, and his responsibility, but they don't know him, right? They don't know him, and that's the hard part. When you don't know the person, it's tricky to get that time for him. Extra time.
I'm just taking a look here at what his. Yeah, so Trent Frederick's time on ice per game played shorthanded in Boston this season was 27 seconds per game. So I'm not sure where this idea is that he's a big penalty killer is coming from, but not according to the minutes that he played in Boston this season, 27 seconds on average per game. So, and the penalty kill was such a strength for them late last season, Struds, into the playoffs. It was so good. And I mean, it was just such a difference maker. It was the backbone of their team. So you would think that you want to keep as many of those guys present as possible. And maybe you do need to engage, someone who doesn't necessarily normally do it. I don't know if you want McDavid or Draisaitl out there regularly doing that, but something is going to have to give if you want these new guys back in.
Well, so this is it. The time on ice, Brown and Janmark were a ton. Actually, Brown, Janmark, and Henrique were all the same, and then Nuge played 5 more minutes of them on the penalty kill. The next guy, the 5th penalty killer, was Podkolzin. He was about half of those guys, so he has done it right. There's trust there. Or some level of trust, and it's happening. So, pulling out one of them, Connor Brown or Janmark, although they're big penalty killers, Podkolzin's the next guy up. So there are penalty killers there.
Yeah. Available. So to your point, so Oiler forwards and their penalty kill, as you said, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins led the way at a minute 44 shorthanded time on ice per game among the forwards. Matthias Janmark was a minute 37. Adam Henrique, a minute 36. Connor Brown, a minute 35. Kapanen at 48 seconds. Podkolzin at 45 seconds a game. So yeah, that's sort of your list. Interesting. Yeah, the penalty kill will be interesting as they mess around with these lines. But Podkolzin's got to be in. I mean, I think he's a natural solution to start with Draisaitl to go. And again, this is what I was saying to you guys before. I believe you fall back to things that you've had success with this season. And 33 and 92 together, they've had, that's a familiar set of wingers, and they've worked with Draisaitl. So it feels to me like it's the natural place to go.
Yeah, no, and I'm with you. And when these guys are all in there, when you look at the lineup that we've created here between Podkolzin, Kane, Frederick, Perry, that's a pretty big group of forwards.
Yeah,
that's a fairly of wingers, I should say, big wingers
and deep. Like deep, the owners are deep. Like, I mean, not everyone's as healthy as you'd like, but it's a deep team up front.
And 4 centers that you can really value and trust and create offense.
100%. And seeing this 4-headed monster will be interesting. You finally have potentially enough wingers. That's relying a lot on Frederick and Kane to come back and be able to contribute. But if they come back and are usable and decent, now you've got the skeleton down the middle and the support structure on the wings. It has a chance to potentially work. Okay, we'll get to Brownie in a couple of minutes here, Struds. Let's get to our scoreboard, brought to you by Canadian Club. The all-new CC Classic 18-year-old high proof comes in at 58%, their highest proof Canadian Club Classic to date. It's a full-bodied whiskey with aromas of caramel, toffee, spicy vanilla, and a rich oak with a butterscotch finish, my friend. And one really important game on the schedule tonight.
Yeah, there was a monster. The Canadians get the much-needed points they need to get into the playoffs. So they beat the Canes, who weren't fully loaded, off of Caden Goalie. I honestly think this guy's going to be a complete stud. He's been a bit overshadowed by Lane Hudson, had some issues with an injury cut early in the year. But anyways, they went 4-2 over the Canes, so that gets them in the playoffs. That's set now. The Jets, get by the Ducks in overtime. Not that really affects anything. The Devils lose to the Red Wings again. That doesn't make a difference. And the Golden Knights put a final beatdown on the Canucks 4-1 in Vancouver. Canucks only produced 17 shots. So can't wait to see the offseason in Vancouver. Coach, does he stay? Pedersen, what do they say? Like, these exit means are going to be just fascinating to see that happens.
Matchups are set. Toronto, Ottawa, Washington, Montreal, Tampa Bay, Florida, Carolina, New Jersey. I won't ask you for all your predictions, Struds, but I will say, just off the cuff, where's the upset? What is the first round upset? I'm gonna say it's the Washington Capitals.
Wow. They don't believe in them, eh?
I don't know. It's not that I don't believe in them. Somebody always gets upset. So you have to pick somebody. You have to pick someone. And that would be a legit upset. Like, that's out on a limb, big upset, like top seed, one of the better teams. Like, to me, that's a big upset.
This is going to light a fire on. I'll go Ottawa.
Oh,
I like their netminder. And I think that. Look
at you.
Their D, who's the guy? Who's the guy that settles everything down? They need it. And I talk about this today with it all on Struddy's World. And who's their D? So, if you're making me pick an upset, I'm going to go Ottawa. I think their netminder. I think Brady Tkachuk is going to be a wrecking ball out there. Absolute wrecking ball.
Can you imagine? If Ottawa beat the Leafs?
It would end the world.
Oh, my goodness.
It would end the world if that happens.
If he may have.
I don't. Yeah.
Jets, Blues, Vegas, Mini, Dallas, Colorado, Edmonton, LA. Where's the upset? Can the Blues do it to the Jets?
I don't think so. I think they peaked a little early. They slowed down a bit. They got a good goalie, but I'll take Hellebuck, all day long. Who's the favorite in Dallas, Colorado?
Yeah, I don't know if you can.
That's a tough one.
Would
To me, it's a
either
coin
team
toss.
winning be enough? I mean, there's 4 points between them.
I'm worried about the right D for Dallas. When I look
Mhm.
at that right D, Labushkin, Cece, and
Dumba?
Dumba. And, they've got Thomas Harley on the other side. Hello. And then doesn't sound like Heiskanen's going to be back. Any, at least not in this series, is what I heard Chris Johnson say. So, according to an insider, this is my own gut. I just don't think that right side's good enough to slow down Colorado and what they're going to have going on there.
CK Pond says Robertson got hurt tonight. Don't know that for sure. Didn't see that, but that's what he's saying there. So, all right, that was our scoreboard brought to you by Canadian Club. Okay, Struds. Before we go to break, let's squeeze one more segment in here because we're waiting for Brownie. We'll get to Brownie points and Struddy's World and all that.
Sure.
But let's take a couple of laps. Let's get that done. Brought to you by Acon. If you're a skilled tradesperson, construction professional looking for work in Western Canada, they want to hear from you. Trades@acon.com is where you send your resume. Once again, that is trades@acon.com. One of Canada's original industrial contractors building some of the largest multi-year industrial projects in Western Canada. All right, bud. Where do you want to look?
Montreal, young D-man Lane Hudson. I know I highlighted Caden Gooley's 2 goals, but his partner, Lane Hudson, passed him the puck, so he got his 60th assist to tie the rookie record for assists by a rookie, ties Larry Murphy, which is incredible accomplishment for anyone. 21 years old, second-round pick, and the guy rips off 66 points, 60 of which are assists, Shogger.
Pretty unreal, man. What a great season. The future is so bright. Like, how good do you think he'll be? Will he be in the Hughes hemisphere, do you think?
Yeah.
Think he can get up there?
I think he moves almost as well, right? The way he moves, and now I think Quinn is a little bit older and a little bit wiser and understands how to control the game on both ends of the ice. And I think that comes with experience. So, but I think with the puck on his stick, he's as agile and as offensively gifted as Quinn Hughes. I mean, he just ripped off 66 points as a 21-year-old in the NHL. That's
easy.
I don't know what that's saying. So I think for him that, he's going to have to make sure he kind of gets the other end going. Not that he's terrible back there, but just understanding when to take risks and stuff. But he creates, when it's on his stick, it is exciting to watch. He looks like a forward.
Where did he land in goals? Where did he land in goals? Did you say?
6 goals.
Yeah,
6.
6. Yeah, so. Hughes. Yeah, there's better goal scoring pedigree there from Hughes. So interesting to see if he can. And that Demidov, I'm really excited to watch this guy play in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's interesting. I saw the insiders talking about it on Dragon and those guys suggesting that he'll be an attraction for UFAs to come there because people think he's going to be a star in the league.
Really?
And they've already got some pretty good other stars. So that's interesting. A guy who's played like 2 games in the NHL could be an attraction. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. They'll have some space to play with. And lastly, this is huge news. Dougie Hamilton returned for the New Jersey Devils today. Came back, played over 20 minutes. He is so important to the New Jersey Devils. Well, it's the same. Think of Ekholm, right? If all of a sudden Ekholm comes back tonight, how would everyone feel? Like it's a big deal. So there's still Jack Hughes isn't coming back, but they got their number 1 D-man back, and that'll be, as long as everything's fine, I'm sure it will be. That'll help them a long ways against the Canes.
How do you like their chances against Carolina?
Without Dougie Hamilton and Hughes, I was like, this thing's going to be quick.
Yeah.
With Dougie, I think it helps them. I think I don't know if it puts them over the top, but it helps. Getting your number 1 D-man back helps a lot.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I think it's still advantage Carolina, I would say for sure. Hamilton injects, there's some defensive responsibility there. There's some size there, some reach. Like he gives them something that they really, really need and they really, really miss when he's not in there. But I think the feeling on Jersey is that they're not built for a deep run. This isn't their year, Struds, for a deep run. They would be considered a bit of a long shot to go deep. They end up finishing 3rd in the Metro. Pretty. There was 8 points between them and Carolina. Carolina scored 260 goals, plus 35 differential. Jersey with a plus 20 differential. 242 goals for to 261. So I think Carolina checks the boxes in a couple of important areas, but Hamilton will definitely help. All right, that was taken a couple of laps, brought to you by Acon. All right, let's take a break. Rob Brown going to join us soon. Struddy's World, Brownie Points, and Ask Us Anything is still to come. So stay with us here on Got Your Back.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
Specializing in heavy-duty commercial truck powertrain repair, performance, tuning, and part sales, Adrenaline Diesel's professional team is ready to assist you with all of your needs, from the simplest oil changes to engine conversions, overhauls, and engine modifications. Featuring an all-new online parts store and machine shop to manufacture, replicate, or repair parts, visit adrenalinediesel.ca.
Ready to go all in this season? Mr. Dirk's got you covered with express on-site tailoring, a wide selection of craftsman-made suits, sport coats, and casual staples for every occasion. Score big with Mr. Dirk. We've always got your back. Visit us off White Ave, south of 102nd Street, or browse online at mrdirk.com.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy.
God, I look good.
All right, it is time now for Struddy's World, brought to you by Timber House. If you're tired of those dull cookie-cutter houses, Timber House is looking to shake things up. Their designs harness the power of natural light to brighten your days and lift your spirits, because life's too short for ordinary houses and dull living. Let them build you a place where laughter and good time are part of the blueprint. Visit timberhouse.ca. Oh, Brownie chiming in.
Oh, there he is.
A little late tonight, Brownie. A little late. Bryn get a little long-winded, or I guess we started early, so.
You guys were a little early. There's some callers that had some stuff to talk about. Big game, exciting game. Everyone wanted to chat about the Sharks, where they're going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no. That was tough. Seriously, that was tough to watch. Especially after Conor got his assist. You're like, okay, seriously, can we just fast forward this? It's like, fast forward. But three things in this game: 100th point, shutout, no injuries. I think that is a successful night. That's your story. Now let's start the real games.
All right, let's get to Struddy's World.
I think that right now we have a really good time in the NHL with stars being marketed really well. Look at the commercial we saw previously in the year with McDonald's for Connor and Austin Matthews, showing a little bit of personality, showing the guys and kind of having fun with each other. And then the one I loved, this one just came out recently, Tim Hortons with Sidney Crosby and Nathan McKinnon dressing up. And like, they won't know who we are. And like, it's so funny that the guy's like, what do you want, Sid? Do you want some cards too? Like, and Sid's face, like, he's so awkward that it's charming. Like, I love those commercials with those two guys. And I think this is important. I think the NHL and the players and the agents have to find more ways to get these guys onto more mainstream platforms. And I get it. There's only so many superstars in the league. But I think it's so important for this to happen for the league because it shows their personality, but maybe markets them and makes them more marketable or interesting to people who aren't hardcore hockey fans like most of us are.
Yeah, I love the player commercials. What do you think, Brownie? Do you agree? Is it in a good spot? Are you liking what you see?
I do, and I'd love to see more. And I know the one that Struds is talking about. I was giggling during it. I mean,
so good
when Sidney Crosby's got those little mustaches on. I thought that was funny. Actually, one of the I know that out in Edmonton, not a lot of big fans of Matthews and Marner, but a few years back they went to a ballet and they showed them at the ballet. And I mean, to me, that show the personality of the players. Now, Shogger, you're in the dressing rooms, and there are a lot of big personalities that you don't get to see. And a lot of the times it's not just the stars. A lot of the biggest person, well, I mean, Struds is a great example. That's a big personality. So there's a lot of different players they can market, have them, just give them a platform, let them talk, because there are some pretty cool people that you'd like to know. And I think the NHL should do a better job of getting them out there, because I think once you see a person's personality, you tend to follow that person a little bit more, because I like what he did in that commercial. I like when I saw him publicly. I want to continue to follow him as a hockey player.
Yeah. Ace 96 says the only one I like was where Gretz and Messier were playing chess. I don't know if I remember. Do you guys remember one? Gretz and Mess playing chess?
I remember Gretzky in a soap opera. He was from the Edmonton operation. Maybe that's why they stopped doing them after that one.
Yeah. Nowhere near the acting chops that this guy on the pod has, the best actor on the pod, as voted on, I believe. Did I win that poll or did I lose that poll? I think I won that poll, didn't I?
I think you lost it. I think
you
can
have it too.
And you had to bribe my son to give you some love. So that's
oh no, I lost the poll, and then your son, the professional actor, chose me as the best actor. Struds, did you have to do anything cringy over the years?
Oh. No, not that I remember.
Yes,
no, not really.
We made you do so much cringy stuff, Struds, back in those days.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't mind it. Like I most of the stuff I don't remember ever really being bothered by it. Yeah, it's fun. Like I think you have to. That's how you show people what you're like, is by doing things that are maybe a little uncomfortable. Like you can tell Sid isn't a good actor. Like listen, from one bad actor to another, I can tell. But it's at least he's trying, right? And I think he's out there trying his best. McKinnon looks like he might be a good actor. He might have a career after this hockey thing wraps up.
Jeff Skinner did a lot with the Buffalo Sabres for their web team. He did a series called Between Two Stalls, bit of a play on Zach Galifianakis and his Between Two Ferns things. And I'm looking like there were actually quite a few episodes, and Skinner is quite the character in them. So, I mean, we haven't really seen that necessarily here yet. He's been a little bit lower key. But yeah, there are personalities that you might not even realize. And I think that the more the merrier in this Oiler locker room, because I will say this group has this is a serious business-like group, Brownie. Like this Oiler team, I don't think there's a lot of jokesters and pranksters in there. I don't think there's a lot of guffaw guys. It's a pretty serious group. So I think any of that you can have coming out in guys, the better.
Yeah, no, I've done a bunch of events with players. I do a lot with RNH. It's almost like they're all just really nice people. I did an event years ago at the RNH. One of his big ones, cystic fibrosis, I was up on stage and I just started making fun of Hitch. And Oscar Clefbaum was beside me. He's like, "Oh my God, you can't say that." Yes, I can. I can say anything I want up here. Not going to bench me. But they were you're right. It's just a real nice group of people.
Yeah.
And their whole leadership is kind of quiet. And I think with Jeff Skinner, I'm sure he'd love to show his personality, but when you're fighting to get into the lineup, it's hard to be a big personality when you're in the press box or on the fourth line. So maybe if he has a couple of good rounds in the playoffs, you'll start to see more of who Jeff Skinner is off the ice.
Yeah, that's what he needs for the coach to see him come walking through the locker room and he's goofing off with the web team, doing a little fake show and stuff. Struds, that'll get you right into the good graces.
Yeah, I do think though, as a player, you got to kind of show who you are, right? And I think you don't have to go crazy, but you got to feel comfortable in that dressing room to kind of be yourself. I think that's important because I think you feel better when you're being true to who you are, both on and off the ice.
All right, that was Struddy's World, brought to you by Timber Hoss Developments. Okay, Brownie, did you have time to get some brownie points together for us, buddy?
Oh, I am always prepared, Shogger. 100% I'm ready.
Always ready to roll. All right. Well, brownie points are brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. Did you know the ultimate game day snack is Canadian owned and operated? Opened in 1962. What a great family business. We love that. Support Canadian business. Take part in their April special. $97. 3 pounds of jerky. And as always, free shipping Alberta-wide. Every purchase of the April special also gets you into a draw for some great items. Some Got Your Back merch you'll be entered into a draw for if you get that April special. So go to albertajerky.com and you can see more. Brownie.
Well, I'm going to start with 100 brownie points to number 97. He only played 4 games since he returned from his injury. And in those 4 games, number 97 had 10 assists to move from 90 points to get the wonderful number of 100 points in the season for the 5th straight year, 8th time in his career. It wasn't if he was going to get his 100th tonight. It was when. The only shock was it was on the stick of Emberson that put the puck in the net for McDavid to get his 100th point. So I got 933 brownie points to San Jose Sharks captain Logan Couture, who announced because of injury, announced he is walking away from hockey. In 933 games, he had 10 20-plus goal seasons. In the big year for the San Jose Sharks when they went to the Stanley Cup Finals, he had 30 points in the playoffs that year. It's unfortunate. This is a player that I've always enjoyed watching. He was an Oiler killer, and injury just took him away from the NHL a little bit too soon. I got 60 brownie points to Montreal Canadian young star Lane Hutson. He tied an NHL record tonight with his 60th assist of the season. That ties Larry Murphy for most assists by a rookie NHL defenseman, and it's the 5th best rookie point season in the history of the NHL for rookie defenseman. To me, Lane Hutson is your rookie of the year, and he is a very, very big reason why the Montreal Canadiens are heading back to the playoffs. I have 575 brownie points to Minnesota Wild goalie Philip Gustafsson, who after securing the playoff clinching point in regulation, told the Wild coach John Hynes to put Marc-Andre Fleury in net for overtime. Hynes agreed, put Fleury in net. It was Fleury's last ever regular season game in the National Hockey League, possibly his last ever NHL game. In overtime, Fleury makes 5 incredible saves, including killing off a Ducks power play, and it moved him to his 575th and his last regular season win. So good on Fleury, but good on Gustafsson going to the coach to say,
No kidding.
Put him in for me. That is awesome. And the last one, this one's a little sad. Minus 22 brownie points. If I could exchange 22 brownie points for 22 seconds to the Calgary Flames fans, I would. The Flames, who made an incredible and overachieving season, had their hearts broke when the Minnesota Wild scored with 22 seconds to go in the game. This goal gave the Wild the tie, which allowed them to secure a playoff point and knock the Calgary Flames out. 22 seconds. If somehow the Ducks can last 22 seconds, the Calgary Flames tomorrow could beat LA and move on to the playoffs. So I feel bad. I thought the Calgary Flames, I was pulling for them. I thought it was a heck of a season for a team that there was very, very little expectations. And those, my friends, are tonight's Brownies points.
I like it. Some good stuff in there, Brownie. Some really good stuff in there. I agree with that last one, too. All right, Brownie Points brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. Before we go to break and get to Ask Us Anything, Brownie, I told you to get some homework done and bring your playoff lineup. Struds and I did ours a little bit before. Why don't you go ahead and roll yours out, buddy? Left to right, lines 1 through 4. What do you got?
And you told me that everybody is back, right? You
said that Frederick,
everybody except for Echo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, except
so
for Echo.
My first line has a RNH with Conor McDavid and Zach Hyman. My second line has Frederick, Leon Draisaitl, and Victor Arvidsson. My third line to start with is Podkolzin, Henrique, and Connor Brown. And my fourth line to start with is Evander Kane with Janmark and Perry.
So who's out for you?
Jeff Skinner.
You got no Skinner.
Well, if you got, who are you going to take out? Podkolzin? He'd be the only other guy you would take out. And he just played 82 games, and the coach really likes him.
Yeah.
So
I'll just note that you guys both argued with me last show because you thought you were fighting for it being Skinner and Brown staying with McDavid and then Frankensteining a new look second line.
We said that when we didn't have Frederick or Kane in our lineup. You made us put those guys in. I would no. You said I had to put everyone in. I've told you since day one, Skinner wouldn't play in the playoffs if everyone is healthy. So last game was a line if I didn't have Frederick or Kane, but you made me put them in. These are my lines.
Okay, I still think there was anyway, we don't need to get too deep into that. So Struds and I both had the same top six, Brownie. We had Skinner, McDavid, and Hyman. Then we had Podkolzin, Draisaitl, and Arvidsson. I had Kane, Nugent Hopkins, and Frederick all on a line together. And then I had Janmark, Henrique, and Corey Perry. And I had Connor Brown out. Struds had Matthias Janmark out.
Who do you have penalty killing?
What's that?
Then? Who do you have penalty killing?
Yeah, and that was brought up. Podkolzin regularly would probably take more of the penalty kill responsibility. It's a fair point, and it's a problem in that Frederick and Kane, you bring them both in, and if you keep Skinner in, you're shy on penalty killers. Maybe because it's the Kings and they've got 5 forwards on that top unit, maybe you're working in one of your more skilled guys, whether it's Draisaitl or McDavid, giving them a little bit of an extra look here and there for that.
Yeah, I just have a hard time pulling out Connor Brown when he's a penalty killer in one of your top 4 and has been all season long. So to me, that's why Jeff Skinner's not in the lineup, because Jeff Skinner doesn't play in your power play and he doesn't couldn't make the power play when they had 5 or all 4 forwards out. Yeah. So that's why I don't see Jeff Skinner in your lineup.
Yeah. Struds, thoughts on Brownie's lineup?
Yeah, no, I get it. And he's keeping everyone. I also took out Janmark and left Podkolzin in. Then Podkolzin become my 4th penalty killer. He's done it quite a bit this year. I just like the idea of more depth scoring through the lineup. That's what I was going. That's why I leave Skinner in there.
I think
I like Skinner,
go ahead,
but I don't think they'll play Skinner. I just don't think they will. I think that they'll go with a penalty killer ahead of him.
Yeah. I mean, did you guys see McDavid hand him the belt when the Oilers clinched? So they give the belt to Jeff Skinner after the game. They make a big deal of it. It's his first opportunity to play in a playoff game in his career. And I just can't help but think that there's something meaningful there that they would try and harness in this series, Brownie. Try and make that work.
Well, he'll eventually play in the playoffs. And I don't know if you're telling us Kane and Frederick are both playing game 1 in this little scenario. I don't think that's the case. I don't think Kane will play. I think Skinner will be in because of that. But if Kane and Frederick and all them are in, I don't believe Skinner will be in the lineup because they don't have enough penalty killers. Connor Brown's a very good penalty killer. And one of the reasons the Oilers went to the Stanley Cup Finals last year was because their penalty killing was excellent. I think that was the biggest reason that the Oilers went on. So to me, Jeff Skinner is a player that they haven't liked all season long. He doesn't play on your power play, doesn't penalty kill. To me, he's only in there if somebody's injured.
All right. Let us know what you think in our Ask Us Anything segment. We got a quick break, right, Steve? And then back with Ask Us Anything?
You bet.
Okay, we'll be right back. Get your questions in here on the live stream, and Steve will get to them. Brownie, you going to stick around for Ask Us?
Sure, I got nothing going on.
All right, sounds good. We'll be back in a minute. Stay with us. For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has been delivering a high-quality golf experience to Edmonton and area. This beautiful private club, located on Highway 21 just south of Sherwood Park, occupies 160 acres and presents a challenging yet adventurous 18-hole design. A beautiful clubhouse, fully stocked pro shop, and warm, friendly staff truly make it feel like you belong to something unique and special. Visit www.belvederegcc.com. If you're considering a vinyl fence, don't be fooled by cheap marketplace imitations. Get top quality vinyl fence from a trusted company with 20 years in the industry. With locations in Calgary and Edmonton, check out dlrvinylproducts.ca. All right, time for Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Mortgages by Maria, the Bank of Canada, lowering those rates over the last couple of years here. The spring real estate market's heating up, so now's a great time to talk to an experienced mortgage specialist, Maria Gallus with Maximum Mortgages, offering access to several lenders and a wide range of rate options, far more than what your bank can provide. So don't settle for your bank's offer. Contact Maria today, mortgagesbymaria.ca, for all of your mortgage needs. Steve, you can focus the bulk of them on Struds and Brownie if that works for you.
Sure, will do. Well, first of all, I guess Gord Parchuski, there's some love for Brownie's lines. He says Brownie's 100% right and about saying Skinner won't be playing in game one, and Nobbs has shown his feeling about Skinner all season long. Avi Hoffman, however, says that Brownie's lineup, his fourth line, is slower than a turtle.
Actually, Steve, why don't you, because it's relevant to the conversation, wrap up the poll right now too, because that was about Skinner, right?
Yep, sure was. Okay, so Brownie, the poll question was, should Jeff Skinner be on McDavid's line for game one? Not will he be, should he be on McDavid's line for game one? What do you think, Brownie?
No. I would go with Nugent Hopkins.
Well,
I'd have Jeff Skinner in my lineup, though.
Yeah. Most people disagree with you.
They all want him there?
Well, it's, we have 82% of respondents saying, yes, he should be with McDavid on game one, and only 17% saying no. So,
Brownie, what do you think about RNH down the middle and he's been better since he's been at center, and I think Knobloch likes that. What do you think about that?
I do. I like it too, but the problem is I think Henrique has been better as of late. And if you put RNH as your third line center, Henrique's down as your fourth line center, and then minutes are hard to find for Henrique. And I think Henrique's played well. So that's the problem when you have RNH and Henrique, that Henrique gets pushed way down the lineup. And then you're starting scrambling for wingers. I mean, you might see Leon Draisaitl playing with McDavid on the first game on his left wing. I mean, that would not shock me if the Oilers started their first game with Hyman, McDavid, and Leon Draisaitl. That's your first line. Henrique centers a line, and so does Nugent Hopkins. So that could happen as well.
You run out of center, though. That's the problem. Janmark.
Oh, then you have Janmark as your fourth line center. Yeah,
it's not ideal. Then maybe you're moving in other guys through that, rotating guys through there. Maybe that's what happens. Because he plays center but I don't know if he's a centerman. You know what I mean? So I think
100%.
Points well made there.
By the way, one assist for Skinner in the last 5 games of the regular season here too. So it's not like he's, lit it up here across the finish line. Hasn't scored a goal since the Anaheim game.
His sentiment couldn't finish.
Okay. Gord Patruski. Gord is wondering, who do you guys predict will be called up as Black Aces from Bakersfield?
Do you want
probably
this
get
one
Savoy up here?
What do you think?
Hey?
Yeah, well, who like Savoy? Obviously, Deneen's going to be here. Josh, Philp, Rodrigue,
Derek Ryan.
Yeah, he'll be there. Am I
This
missing?
kid they just signed.
Player?
Hudson will stick around, right? The kid they just
Hudson
signed.
will be here.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's that many, but you don't need to have 20 guys either, right? Like they already have quite a bit of depth here already. Mm-hmm. That's probably it. Maybe I'm missing one or two. I don't know if I can think of any other
Well, what's
kids
the guy that used to play for the Blackhawks too? Little guy.
Oh,
Kajula?
Kajula.
Yeah, Kajula. That's not. I mean, veteran player, be around.
You need him.
I think he was hurt.
I was. Yeah, I've not followed the minor league team at all, so I wouldn't even know who they got down there.
Yeah.
Buddy
Derek
Hope
Ryan, by the way.
Yeah. Buddy Hope is wondering if Hudson can play in the AHL playoffs. Is that a thing?
I don't think he can.
No,
because he wasn't on their list, whatever. So I don't think he can. Just like he can't play here, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, let the young kid go play in the AHL playoffs, or at least a couple games, right?
Yeah. Okay, JB Ram saying, neither of our goalies give me confidence, but Stu has done it before. Pickard is there if Stu needs a rest at some point. Brownie, we haven't talked to you about this. How are you feeling about Skinner's game heading into the postseason?
I thought he was good. I mean, the Oilers defensively have been fantastic in his 2 starts. I mean, the Oilers, the first 6 minutes of this game were not good, but the game against Winnipeg and for 54 minutes tonight really limited the chances. Tyler Toffoli had 2 really good looks that Skinner turned aside. I thought he looked confident. He looked pretty calm in there. He took them, again, they went to Game 7 with him last year. He let in 2 goals on the road in Game 7. He gave them a quality start. I got full confidence with Stu Skinner.
Okay, Naveed is coming in, giving Kane some love, saying, I think everyone's underestimating the Kane effect and what he's going to bring. He's going to be hungry for some drama. If we can get through LA and get Ekholm for round 2, we will steamroll. What are you guys what are you expecting from Kane? When he comes back, Brownie.
Huge physicality. I'm not expecting a whole lot of offense. I'm being gone for almost a year, and then having hands and being able to play at the same speed, and not just practice speed where you're skating as fast as you can, but the speed in your head. Because the game goes so fast when you're out there, and this is the highest level in the playoffs. But the one thing he can do, if I'm playing on Evander Kane's line, I'm getting to center, and I'm flipping the puck as high as I can in the opposite corner, and it's landing in the corner for that defenseman to go pick it up, so Evander Kane can just go run him through the boards. And the next shift I come out, I'll do it again. That's Evander Kane during the series. Drew Doughty's one of my favorite players to watch. Love him. But last year in the playoffs, 2 or 3 times, Doughty threw the puck away quickly because he knew Evander Kane was coming. Doesn't matter how good you are. If you know you're about to get steamrolled, you're moving the puck quickly. So I'm expecting physicality and huge physicality from Evander Kane.
Struds, let me ask you, Struds, because of the nature of his injury and his surgeries, he wouldn't have had an opportunity to practice any of that. The first big hit that he tries to throw is going to be the first game that he plays in. What do you think?
Yeah.
Does it matter because of the type of injury he had?
No, I think your body knows it remembers how to do it. And if he feels strong, he would have had some battling practices, I'm sure. Like they throw you in the corner with another big guy, and you have to battle there with the puck and hammer into each other and kind of get that feeling. So it's the feeling, but also the conditioning, because there's nothing like it. You can skate for days by yourself. Then as soon as you have to battle someone to stop and start, your legs feel like, I'm not even in shape. What the hell have I been doing? You start snapping on the coach out there, right? So, but I agree with Brown. I think he needs to get out there. He will get out there and be physical. And there's 3 guys I'm targeting if I'm him. It's Doughty, it's Warren Fogle, and it's Quentin Byfield. I'd go after all those 3 guys I expect him to go after those 3 guys.
Aaron St. Pierre saying, I'm actually feeling good about the D. What do you think, Struds, about our D right now heading into game 83?
Well, I'd feel a lot better if Nurse and Wallman were in there. I think we've got to be careful. Like, it's the San Jose Sharks. I probably could have played a period and been okay if I didn't get out there against Celebrini line. But I think that, you look at it, it's those 4. And then after that, is it guaranteed to be Stetcher and Emerson? Probably to start, I'm guessing. Then knocking on the door would probably be Dineen, Brown, Klingberg, in that order. Because I have no idea. Klingberg's skating, but is he skating? Is he getting close? Like I don't hear the coach talking about him too much, so I have no idea where he's at. So that's probably the order. So that's it. But I honestly expect Kulak and Nurse to play a ton of minutes together with those guys back and forth all over the place.
I don't know if I say I'd feel good about the defense with Ekholm not in the lineup. He's their best all-around defenseman. I think the top 4 are good defense. Emerson and Stetcher, you can kind of hide them a bit. I thought Emerson struggled with the puck again tonight. I know he had a goal and assist, but in his own end, he made some blunders. But you don't have Ekholm. So the Oilers can win a Stanley Cup without Ekholm, but it's going to be a whole lot harder. He is that good a defenseman.
Yeah. And the minutes he takes off, right? 20, 25 minutes, got to be eaten by someone else. Of
hard
quality.
Minutes too, Struds. Yeah, hard minutes. He doesn't play easy minutes.
No.
Ahmed's wondering what we expect to see from Nuge heading into the playoffs. What do you think, Brownie?
Hopefully more than we've seen the last few games. He hasn't looked as good since he's come back from his illness. Again, quiet tonight. So I would hope and I would expect more from him. He understands the importance of these games. I think he can be a big time player. But yeah, I think we need to see more from Nuge than we've seen in the last few games since coming back. He'll have a few more days to rest, so I'm sure by the time game 1 comes around, he'll be completely 100% better.
Anything else? What do you think, Struds?
No, I agree. The jump we saw, when he was kind of rolling there, what is that, about 8-9 games ago? We haven't seen that same jump from him. So I think that they need him. Like they can be no passengers in the playoffs here. Everyone's got to be going. I'm not suggesting Nuge has been a passenger, but he hasn't been at the level that we'd expect. So, there's some options to bring guys in. Like I think Max Jones, actually, he's the last little while, he's kind of showing me, what he can skate and hit, and tonight he scored. Kapanen, I don't know how much of an option he'd be. I every time I watch him, I always feel like he's done a lot. Then you kind of look at the end of the night and he hasn't really done much. You know what I mean? Like he looks really good.
You know what struts with him? I'm noticing more and more is the plays dying on his stick. He's going up. He turns up to ice. He's going 100 miles an hour, and then he'll just bobble it and lose it into the corner. Or tonight he was coming up the middle. It's like, oh, he's got a big break, and then he bobbles it, and it goes to the defenseman. He likes holding on to the puck. He likes big bursts of speed.
Yeah.
But really, what'd they say tonight? He's got 1 assist in his last 20 games. I don't even know what it is. He's really struggled to do stuff like that. So, yeah, he looks more. He's prettier than he is productive.
I like that. Yeah. It just at the end of the night, you think, man, what did he accomplish? And nothing is really being done.
All right. Well, let's just end off with a couple of fun ones here. So Michael Cook says, glad to catch the pod live tonight. Got to brag. Just Selly, the farm team, winning the ship in Div 24.
Nice.
The crown jewel of the CCRHL Rec B League.
Congratulations, Michael Cook.
I think another word for Division 24 is shinny. I think that's what they call it.
Don't let Struddy get to you, Michael. And then lastly, Jordan, just with some nice words, said, hey, I just wanted to stop in and say thanks to the Got Your Back team for an awesome regular season. Can't wait for the next 2 months with the guys here. Yeah, it was a great
absolutely.
season.
Yeah. Echo that sentiment, Jordan. Thanks for joining us. And we got to thank all of our viewers and listeners through the regular season too. Like we were grinding our way through. There were some nights where it was sort of like, hey boy, you get through the dog days of the season, but it was always fun. And the viewers on the stream and the listeners with their emails always keep it interesting and add another layer of this to us and definitely increase the enjoyment of it. So big thanks to everybody that's been contributing all year. It's been fun, Struddy, and not too negative. Not too negative this year.
No. I mean, I think we're all waiting for what's coming up next. Let's be honest here. I think the players, the fans, the media, everyone. So we made it. So now we can all find out if we're battle ready, right?
If Skinner plays game 1, Brownie should have to start a playoff beard, says David.
I'm in. I'm in.
He's in. He's good to go.
I will do. I've got my playoff beard going already.
Let's wrap up our show with our Gallery Dental play of the day. Take the first step towards a stress-free dental experience, providing modern dentistry for today's patient with the most up-to-date dentistry, sedation, implants, and so much more. Contact Gallery Dental, YEG.com. Struds, what do you have in mind for us for tonight, my friend?
You're 40 years old. You scored 19 goals. I don't know what else to tell you. So Corey Perry, play of the day. He far exceeded my expectations for him this year.
Is Brownie gone?
I don't have a play of the day. I don't have a play of the day scene with him in it.
Oh, okay, but he can still hear us. You just don't have a camera shot.
Yes, and I'm desperately trying to get him back in right now. But yeah.
No, that's okay, buddy. That's fine.
Don't worry about
me.
Need
to see that.
All right.
What do you think, Brownie? 19 goals for Corey Perry, man. Like, who would have thought? I think when everybody remembered they had that extra year, when he got this last contract. A lot of people were not sure what to think. 19 goals for Perry.
It's unbelievable. I mean, there's players that have underachieved this year for the Edmonton Oilers. I don't know if anyone has overachieved for the expectations they had for him. And he had 2 chances at the end for his 20th, and he wanted it. He came around from behind the net out in the slot. He fanned on it, and then he got it again. He wanted number 20. So, and again, he doesn't play power play or penalty killing the same as Skinner, but Corey Perry you want in your lineup. I don't know if anyone understands the gamemanship of a playoff hockey better than Corey Perry. I think at some point in this playoffs, he is going to score a goal. It's going to be very important for the Edmonton Oilers.
Played pretty much every game this year. We thought he'd be an in and out guy, but wasn't at all.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, considering it was kind of a mean nothing game, I thought you guys put forward a pretty decent effort. I think the podcast was better than the content we had to work with tonight. So a fine job to both of you. We are going to have at least one pod before the series gets underway. We're going to find out the playoff schedule. Got to check in with the fellas here. But keep an eye on our socials, and we'll probably drop a preview pod before the Kings and the Edmonton Oilers. Until then, thanks for joining us, everybody. Great job tonight, fellas. Thank you kindly. Steve, great work coming off the bench as always, my friend. And we'll chat with all of you in a few days. Cheers. Big cheers. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, Struds.
No cheers. I reject it.